Cambodia's pro-China stance is expected to continue under the leadership of its newly elected Prime Minister. Chatmongkol Pissamaigosol reports.
Hun Sen, the so-called Cambodia strongman, officially stepped down as Prime Minister on August 22. He was replaced by his 45-year-old son, Hun Manet, who is likely to follow in his footsteps by establishing good relations with China. Hun Sen once described China as a trustworthy friend. In April 2006, both nations signed several bilateral agreements. Beijing promised to provide $600 million in loans and grants and cancel much of Cambodia's debt. Hun Sen's eldest son and Cambodia's new Prime Minister, Hun Manet, graduated from the U.S. Military Academy and earned degrees in the United States and Britain. Given his educational background, some speculated he might adopt a more Western-leaning stance. Earlier this month, Hun Manet warmly welcomed Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi, signaling that the strong ties between China and Cambodia will continue, while some hope he could achieve a greater balance between Beijing and several democratic countries such as the United States, Japan, Australia, and European Union member states. Hun Sen previously said that he could return to office if his son's life is in danger. The 71-year-old former prime minister is expected to retain political influence in his role as head of the ruling Cambodian People's Party, as well as serve in other positions until 2033. The relations between Cambodia and China can be traced back to the 13th century, while diplomatic ties were officially established in 1958. รายงานจากราชบุรี นายชัดมงคล พิสมัยโกศล SMS News ประเทศไทย สวัสดีครับ
The United States, Japan, and South Korea held trilateral missile defense drills in response to North Korea's military threats. Kim Sung reports.
Japan, South Korea, and the United States held trilateral missile defense drills at the international waters south of Jeju Islands, where they showcased Aegis destroyers, Rox Yulgokyi, USS Benfold, and JS Haguro. According to the Navy, the drills conducted on Tuesday were an answer to Pyongyang's increasing missile and nuclear threats, including a recent attempt to launch a spy satellite that violates UN Security Council resolutions. The exercise also conducted procedures of detecting and tracking simulated target under the scenario of North Korea's ballistic missile provocations. It also includes an inspection of real-time information sharing system on North Korea's missile warning data as a contingency to an agreement signed by Prime Minister Fumio Kishida, U.S. President Joe Biden, and South Korean President Yoon Suk-yeol. This is the fifth trilateral naval exercise held under the Yoon administration as South Korea continues to expand security ties with the U.S. and Japan amid tensions with North Korea. Meanwhile, in response to the trilateral cooperation, North Korean leader Kim Jong-un bolsters the nation's naval forces during his visit to the Navy Command. The naval headquarters visit was the first since Kim took power in 2012. Analysts look at that move as his intention to support the naval capacity assets by deploying nuclear weapons in the near future. Kim said in a speech that the waters of the Korean Peninsula have become the world's most unstable waters, with the dangers of the nuclear war caused by the reckless confrontational moves of the U.S. Seoul Isubugo, Kim Sang-imnida, SMNI News, South Korea.
With its decision to release treated radioactive water, Japan received piles of criticism from neighboring countries and the international community. Ria Saito files this report.
Neighboring countries and the international community flames Japan for its poor decision to dump treated radioactive water despite it still containing tritium. Last Monday, Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Wenbin expressed a strong opposition on the matter and encouraged Japan to be responsible and stop its selfish act.
中方一贯依法保障在华外国人的安全和合法权益。我还要强调的是，日本政府无视国际社会的强烈质疑和反对，单方面强行启动福岛核事故污染水排海。周边邻国和国际社会对日本政府这种自私自利、极不负责的行为，普遍持批评态度，并采取相应防范措施。
According to Wang, due to Japan completely ignoring criticism, warnings, and protests by people from different nations, Japan is not only receiving criticism only from China, but also from the international community, adding that lawfully China is sure to protect the safety and legal rights and interests of foreign residents in China, a complete 180 of what Japan is doing. Wang gave Solomon Islands Prime Minister as an example of among those who expressed a strong opposition to Japan's decision to discharge wastewater. Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Foreign Affairs Vanuatu also called for immediate action to stop Japan from its water release. Meanwhile, the Prime Minister of the Republic of Korea said his country will demand an immediate halt of the release and file an international lawsuit in the event that the concentration level of a single nuclide goes beyond the standard, and that they will also keep in place its import ban on fishery products from 8 Japanese prefectures, including Fukushima. The ROK's Democratic Party called the release of the nuclear-contaminated water an act of environmental terrorism. Germany's Federal Environment Minister said whatever plans similar to Japan's should be done on a scientific basis, and the process should be clear. Malaysian Health Director General said his country will place a higher standard of inspection on high-risk food products that are being imported by Japan. Moreover, Thailand's Food and Drug Administration says they will also tighten their inspection of food imported from Japan and will double its collection of samples to search for radioactive material. The Democratic Party of Japan has now also expressed extreme concern regarding its government's decision. According to Japan's Social Democratic Party, its daring acts are unforgivable. On the other hand, the National Fisheries Cooperative Federation of Japan, together with the Fisheries Cooperative of Miyagi, united to rally with the victims of nuclear bombing in Hiroshima. The United States has also lessened imports of agricultural, forestry, and fishery products from Japan, despite the United States saying it was happy and that it supports the decision of Japan. 以上、日本から説明ニュースをお伝えしました。As Japan.